got another box of them in. They're so freaking good.
Good morning, everybody. Yes.
Okay, macro counting.
Yes.
Oh.
What are you guys up to?
I just found out overnight that my sister had another baby, and I get to be a second-time uncle.
That's
Wait.
dope. I literally just had a
Pregnant or she just
conversation.
had the baby?
Like not 8 hours ago.
So you are a second-time uncle. You're not gonna be.
Yeah.
No.
I just had a conversation with my mom. She's getting a new car. Like, I was like, Mom, you got to recognize that there's a lot of, like, Garrett just had 2 kids. Like, I'll probably have kids soon. So, like, you got to get a bigger SUV kind of thing. It's like a crazy
Suburban.
conversation to say now that, like, that's the morphosis of life. Are you planning on having kids, Ryan?
I don't know. I'm a little old. I'm on the backside of 35.
So
I'm imagining my first kid will probably hit around 37.
well,
Just
dude,
start
De Niro just had a kid. And he's 80. So you're not behind the curveball, bro. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. I mean, he's
That's-
great grandpa age, but whatever.
He's great grandpa age.
I mean, I'm a youthful person. So it's like, age is truly determined by what you think.
Yeah.
That shaman guy has been showing me pictures of all these people in the jungles that he's been hanging out with. And these dudes in their 70s and 90s, and he says lots of them lived into their hundreds. They're just young ass people living life so vivaciously.
Yeah. You choose it. Like the problem is so many people just they don't take care of themselves. They're like, oh, I can't do that. And I'm like, dude, I take my kid to the park and I don't get to sit by. I have to go through the park, like the playground with him. I have to climb. I have to get on the slides. I have to do it with him. Like we go to this place called Urban Air, and I've got to go through the whole thing with him.
Ryan, sounds like you need to have kids.
Urban Air.
What's the name?
does-
What's that brand that you're wearing right now?
This
Yeah.
or this?
No, the one that's on your shirt.
Branded Bills.
I like it. Is it a baseball cap
They
company?
they do the tech hats.
Yeah, it's a hat brand, but I found a T-shirt as well, and it's a tight, kind of athlete cut fit.
I think they do. I think you can get your stuff printed on their stuff, right?
Yeah,
Can't you reach out to them and like if you wanted to do like
high quality hats and stuff.
house training or builder hat, they'll do it, and they're flat brim textile. Like,
dude, that reminds me. You should put this link up if you can. We literally only have 7 more days where the hoodies can be up for sale.
Oh,
so if
I got
you guys,
you right here.
if you guys do want to get a hoodie, I don't know who's tuning in right now, but the sales will be done by the 20th. So today's the 14th. So you have 6 more days. And then that whole loophole closes. Yeah, so if you look over there on the left, that Biceps One Races one, I just gave one out to my homie. He's already been on 10 dates since. And the Builder Sports one basically is a shield of armor. You could be shot and potentially it will deflect bullets. I'm using the word potentially because I do not want to get sued if you do die.
Hey, just putting the small print below it, say your experience may differ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the code.
I gotta put my order in for one.
Dude, I just did this podcast yesterday. I got to get the name of it. I'm an idiot, but their brand is called Assholes Live Forever. These are some of the coolest dudes I've ever met.
You shared it on your story, right?
Yeah. Let me go find out. I
had to search the guy, tag the guy.
So ugly on the inside. I had such a good time with these guys, and they run this savage brand called Assholes Live Forever, and it's kind of one of these things where it's almost like a Spencer's type brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember Spencer's? It's kind of a little bit wild side, things like that. It's not like Represent where it's like fashion and fitness and stuff.
I used to be able to get my comic book shirts there and shit.
The dude was so cool. I just loved it. The guy built the business. Half of it's based off the fact that he's like heavily involved in the maybe I'm speaking poorly on his behalf. He's an amazing person. Don't take this the wrong way. He's got a lot of porn stars and adult adult movie heroes on there, and he just collaborates between them with the brand. It's like that new thing where every porn star is becoming a celebrity, and it's crazy, dude. I was going through his house and all the pictures and billboards and stuff, and you're just like, I didn't even know this existed. Dude's got 150 employees.
Holy shit.
Beast, dude. Total beast. It is so amazing today. Like, I'm so pumped that you could literally launch a brand within 24 hours. Like, I do this with Ryan all the time. I'm like, buy this website, do this, do that, and like get a landing page. We basically just get it up, get it going.
We have a bunch of them cooking. They're just on simmer right
Dude,
now.
I remember Ryan and I on a phone call, and we were literally going through like a business call, and we were like, "Hey, let's go to GoDaddy, and we need to buy biceps win races." And we were literally, and Ryan's like, "Do it." And I'm like, "You need to buy it right now." And Ryan's like,
Yeah.
"I'm buying it right fucking now." And
Yeah.
then he was like, "Wait, what about this?" And I'm like, "I would totally buy that. That's Hunter approved. Buy that." Like, we were like,
It
in a candy
that's the
store.
way to go, honestly.
I think it was something to do with
I'll
our
probably
branding.
in my lifetime, in my lifetime, I'll probably launch another 6 to 10 brands. I don't really know how to address this. I actually took down all of all of our interviews about Vienna, the live stream and everything like this, because it went so
really?
poorly. And I was reached out to on behalf of racers. I was reached to out on behalf of the staff from High Rocks, and everyone was like so tremendously upset. And I think they were upset about the entirety of the experience. What's that?
They should be upset internally that their broadcast and their equipment was so poor. No?
I'm not going to lie, though. I took a lot of heat as if I was the one who did all this. I was just the person who was sitting there
sprinkling dust to fuck up their rowers.
Well, what happens is you get caught in the crossfire of something that's not your fault, and you're just like, "Hey, I'm a third party here, and I'm just giving my thoughts, reflecting on the situation, and they just happen to be at the wrong race, wrong time for all that shit to go wrong. That's not your fault. I understand, like, where they're coming from, but it's just misplaced."
Yeah. There's this conflicting experience that I have going on in my life right now where it's like I am an athlete and I want to just be a pure athlete. It is my number one goal. I go to bed every single night and I read out my 5 biggest goals to myself as I'm falling asleep, and I usually fall asleep before I even get to 4. And I say it over and over and over in my head to manifest everything to happen. The number one most important goal is to succeed as an athlete. The second biggest goal is to build this empire of a business, like an unstoppable empire of a business associated with this market. Now, there's the person that should just be able to tie his shoes on and go to fucking war. And then there's the person that has to orchestrate this entire design that is going to basically help fund, fuel, and support the community that is part of this outside of myself. Because if I was only building things just for myself, trust me, things would get really fucking weird.
Yep.
And when you see something happen like this weekend, and we're investing so much money, we're working with so many other massive brands that are investing in us, which invests outwards, and it's all directed at this space, which at the cream of the crop, if you guys haven't noticed, I've quit doing all other sports and I only do High Rocks. And you see what happens this weekend. It becomes this kind of situation where you're just like, am I the athlete where I'm just going to ignore it all and focus only on myself? Or am I the business manager who is going to now speak on behalf of what's necessary to fix this problem? And I spoke on behalf of the problem, and people got really upset over it because I think a lot of people don't take constructive criticism well. And I took it all down because I don't want to be a hub of hate. I'm not even going to reiterate all my opinions now, but I will say that I personally, as an athlete, retracted, and I don't want to be associated with it anymore. Like, I would like to just disappear and not really talk about it, and then show up for world championships and ignore everything, win my race, and then walk away again. As a business owner, I like doubled down and I like built these fortresses and attack plans and everything. So yeah, it was interesting. It was really interesting. And I had to go and get on phone calls with my managers and everybody associated to really figure out the best way to handle it. But Our first move was to take everything down.
Yeah, I think that, if from the athlete perspective, if this was something like the MLB, NFL, NBA, something like that, where you're making an insane amount of money and you're just like, look, man, I'm just going to be the athlete. I'm staying out of their corporate shit and I'm just going to do my job. I've got my money, I've got my endorsements and my contracts, and I'm not going to do anything. But this sport is it's at that 5 year mark, right? It's kind of like the restaurant industry or any big business where it's like you got to make it a year. Then you make it to 2 years and you're like, okay, now we got to make that 5 year jump. And then you get to that 5 year and that's going to dictate whether you make it another 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And I think from your perspective, leading the way as the face of the sport, just because you happen to be the champion multiple times and where this sport needs to go, you almost want to be in that space where you're like, hey, I'm not trying to put you guys down or ruin you. I'm saying this because I have a love for this. I see where it could grow. And I'm only talking about this so everybody behind me and the future of this sport can be at a higher level when they come in. Like the whole sport's at a higher level. And so I think if more people realize that where they are now with the sport and where it could be, they need to take that stance.
I vote for Bracken Cracker to start the union for this thing. I think that guy's should do it. He's a legend. I vote for him.
We voluntarily took it down.
Yeah, it needs to get better. They're probably going to listen to this right now and get upset. The reason why I took it down, guys, is because I didn't want our channel to become this hate on High Rocks, because I watched it start to snowball up, and you could just tell like people were lighting their torches and getting outside of the gates and chanting in anger, which a lot of you guys had the right to do. And I was like, that's just not going to be my page. It's not going to be my page. Like, I don't need the page views. I don't need anything. Like, we're going to focus on other shit. So, like this podcast right here, like this is Coach's Corner Wednesday, and we're talking about a dog shit race that happened on Saturday. So I mean, it's like, we got to have more of our attentions. So let's change the direction. Let's talk about Nicholas Hoyer. He's one of our most dedicated clients. I want to update on you, dude. How's the weight looking? How's that hot body? Send me some pics, bro. Send me some shirtless pics.
Dude, he's got a great personality, man. I love talking to Nick via text and different things like that. He's a great spokesperson for just life in general and the company. Like he crushes it.
Amani's back.
Amani's on.
Amani's back on the show, dude. Amani disappeared for a while.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I was pretty heartbroken. Hey, have you guys checked out the website? Can you bring up the website real quick? We're doing a whole audit of it, so you may see some changes, but we rebuilt house training to make sure everything was so much clearer. The thing that we've recognized over time is just like there just always seems to be a question before there's an action. And we don't want that. We want things to be so understandable and accessible that you guys don't have to deal with the shit. So we rebuilt the whole website. We made it all just geared because a lot of our old branding was towards all of the things I've done in my career. I'm obviously fully focused on High Rocks now and the coaching that we do around it. So we changed just a lot of the descriptions of everything just to make sure that it was very, very easy for you to understand what am I doing and what is my result going to be. We rebuilt it, changed a lot of the images. And if you guys ever have any suggestions, dude, we are open to it. We are a very kind of like on the move pivoting company. And we're really, really pumped. How McCall you change house strength and how High Rocks run? Well,
I gave an update and a key as to what the new names and what they were, what they changed.
The reality is like Look Good Naked is one of these kind of programs where you're going to look great naked, but it's a strength training program. I just liked the name Look Good Naked. It really is. That's the reality of it all.
Yeah.
And High Rock Strength is basically the same strength programs. My programs have always changed a little bit over time towards more of my focus. And we just changed the title, guys. It's just like the difference between calling it Coke or Pepsi. It's the same shit mostly for the most part on the inside. High rocks run instead of OCR. So if you think about it, guys, I used to be a professional obstacle course racer. During those 6-7 years of me running professionally, I found a formula that really made insane gains in running, and it was this periodization. That same running plan can be used for athletes who are running high rocks. I designed that plan for races that were going to be around anywhere between like 45 and 75 minutes, and you can extend beyond that. But for the most part, I was always the guy who was the best in the world at like the super distance, which was that, 6 to 8 miler. And that's exactly what this program is. And it's exactly around the same amount of time that it takes a high rocks athlete to do an event. And then, instead of House Pro, what's the difference between House Pro and High Rocks Pro? House Pro was always a High Rocks workout program. We just took out House. You already know that's the name of our company. And then Intro Athlete, it's just getting people moving. It's getting people moving, and the functional capacity of your body moving properly will be the same functional capacity to get you moving properly in a high rocks. Just the reality of things. So that's how I like to train the human body, and I get good results. If you guys haven't noticed, I kick serious ass myself, and if you guys get to see a lot of the clients that we work with, we always prove to get good results also. So I'm pumped about that. Let's see if we got some other questions on here. Thoughts on training in nylon carbon plated shoes versus regular trainers?
Ooh.
I mean, here's the thing. Carbon plated shoes are the biggest unfair advantage that's ever been created since the beginning of time as far as sports performance wear. But I would never do lifting or really hardcore functional training in a shoe like that. But as far as racing, you're never going to catch me racing in a non-carbon plated shoe now. Just doesn't happen.
I also think, if I can touch on that, I also think that too many people do all of their runs in carbon plated shoes, and I think it's actually has a negative effect. You're starting to see more people have injuries because they're either calves or their feet. And you got to think about when you put your foot into a carbon plate shoe, it's there to boost your performance. But if you use it all the time, it's like putting your foot into a cast. You're going to stop using a lot of muscles that you need to develop. So find yourself a more unstructured shoe. Do a lot of your runs in there. If you have a carbon plate shoe that you're 3 weeks out from a race, use them for 1 to 2, maybe 3 key run sessions. Get used to the shoe, put them away, use them on race day. After race day, you can use those shoes for other big key runs, but use a non-carbon plated shoes to keep developing your strength that you need to in the run game. Protect yourself. And then that way you actually get the benefit of the carbon plate shoe when it comes to using them.
So I will say something also, guys. I should explain my training schedule more clearly. I actually am only training in carbon plated shoes twice a week during my 2 speed sessions. The rest of the time, guys, I'm actually training on the trail a lot, and I'm not training in carbon plated trail shoes. Now, that being said, like if I spent more time on the road, which I have been doing a little bit lately, the road always just beats the shit out of me. And I think carbon plated shoes are beneficial regardless, but I guess if I was doing those easy miles, I wouldn't necessarily hold on to carbon plated shoes. I will say for sure though, there's about 70% of my training is done without carbon plated shoes. Those 2 speed sessions I do though, carbon plated. You guys have no fucking clue how fast I am right now. I'm picking up the Strava reports to show you guys these crazy runs I've been pulling off.
Q14 classified, bro. Save it.
Let's see what these people have
Come
to
on,
say.
Maverick. Keep it under wraps.
I didn't take it as hate from you, man. Scottish Jasmine putting in some serious stuff. Yeah, Scottish Jasmine. It was yeah, I was just calling out the people. I don't really want to get into the weeds on this because at the same time, like, there's just too much BS going around. I'm gonna let the rest of the world do it. I need to focus on other things. Joshua, I appreciate you supporting us with the Look Good Naked thing. Hunter's last vlogs mentioned just burning sugar in the second interval on the treadmill. Can you walk me through the energy systems and what that means? you guys want to get into the weeds on this thing for Corey Cranturel?
Let's
I
do
think
it.
it's a great topic because I think a lot of people on their easy days they use purely sugar, or they're maybe not using a fast digestive,
Heart
a
rate.
fast absorbing carb when they're pushing the limit. So go ahead.
Yeah, well,
I think it's an
I
important
in my
topic.
notes say I have heart rate, macros, and new PRs. So
I
here's
like
the
it.
thing. I was actually just reading an article about this morning. I woke up at 5 in the morning, and the first thing I started to do was read this article. Look at this, boys. Velo. This is the #1 cycling
love that
website in the
magazine.
world, and it says eat carbs, crush races. Now, they were doing studies back in the day, and this was around the time of Chris Froome, who is probably the second most winningest Tour de France guy, or at least in recent history. He's very talented. And they were using fat to try to see if they could use fat as more of an option to pull off of fats rather than in lower energy system levels and lower heart rates, rather than using carbohydrates, which always need to be replenished at a more rapid rate. They have just come down to the fact that they were not able to get the real performances that they wanted using that. Now, what they did recognize is that in those lower heart rate zones, you could get away with using more fat adapted rides, meaning not cranking carbohydrates, because it would help alter the body composition, aka lose weight, and which is a humongous factor for these cyclists because it's strength to weight ratio, power to weight ratio. The lighter you are, the more power you hold, the more likely you are to win the race.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go back around. They were saying in that article, crush carbs, crush races. They were able to just show that these people taking carbohydrates would allow them to have more sustainable, long intensity, which is going to equate into better training sessions, which is going to equate into better racing results. Now, if I show you guys this workout slide right now, and I could bring it up right now and I could show you guys all my VO2 max scores, but that's private fucking information. But if I showed you guys basically where my body starts to burn carbohydrates, you're going to recognize that here's a session that I did. And you guys can see these charts, and basically, like, my heart rate gets up to around 166 beats per minute at the highest point. Now, let's just look at this graph right now. There's lines going through it. There's heart rates up this way. There's paces this way, so on and so forth. You guys have to understand, if you're going at like 5 miles an hour and your heart rate's at 100 beats per minute, you're burning like 100% fats. It's like almost not everybody's burning 100% fats at any given time. It's always kind of a mixture. The lower your heart rate is, the more you're oxidizing fat. The higher your heart rate goes, the more action your body has to do to produce energy. The more energy you're producing, the more likely your body is to start pulling off of carbohydrates, because it's a more instantaneous and high octane, like high performance fuel. Fat is more complicated to break down, so it means it takes longer to break down and it produces less energy. Okay? If you look at it like this, if you put a log on the fire, it takes a while to slowly start to generate heat. And if you put gasoline on the fire, it instantaneously produces this explosion of fire. Instant heat. It doesn't last as long, and that's what carbohydrates do. They do not last as long. That's why you have to keep on eating carbohydrates while you're training. So here's the thing. When you start to get up into those intervals, which I just showed you guys an image of, your body is now predominantly, if not entirely, using carbohydrates. And I've done the tests on this so many times. As soon as I get up to like 158 beats per minute, 160 beats per minute, I'm using only sugar. Your body not only has to have sugar inside of it to use, first of all, but it also needs to be efficient at using sugar. So if you're not doing intervals that are up near those high intensities, pushing your body over and over again, the same reason why I give you guys intervals every week, I give myself intervals every week. Not only does the body get fitter at doing the action, it gets fitter at producing the energy through the absorption of carbohydrates and cycling lactic acid back through the body and using it as a fuel source. I know this is all really high science shit, but
go ahead. Sorry.
The basic 101s are this. If you do not eat sugars, you are an idiot. If you get to a point that your body needs sugar and you do not have sugar, you will not fucking perform like a sugar eating champion. aka myself. You cannot eat ketones and expect to act like an Olympic gold medalist. And if you want to be an Olympic gold medalist in the own version of yourself, take the words from the wise. You need to do what we are doing to be the best version of yourself. I'm doing it for the best version of myself. You need to do the same. There is no
ketones are for endurance. That's why you see them all. They're sponsoring Ironman athletes because on their low heart rate days, their zone 2 days, they're in a more 50-50 ratio of fat and carbohydrates, and that's why you see them using both. And they're going for a 3-4 hour ride. You don't see ketone athletes that are 100 and 200 meter sprinters getting endorsements from ketones. Their body's 100% dragster fuel. That's it. It's boom. From the start line, blows up. They got enough gas to get to the end of the line, and that's pretty much it.
I just watched this guy. I'm going to try to say as little as possible because I don't want this to get back to him because I don't have anything against him. But it was 100% like a buzz topic to get attention and be shared on the internet, which it did get shared.
Yeah.
He said that one of the top performing CrossFit athletes was a champion at the end because he was fat adapted. There is not one CrossFit workout in the world that uses fat if it's a typical CrossFit workout. That's 100% sugar. Now, when they're doing the marathon row, that's more fat. But when the ones that pay the bills, like these 21:15:9s, the person that is the most efficient at producing high rates of power and efficient movement patterns is going to win the CrossFit game. How do you produce high rates of power? Sugar. Motherfucking sugar.
Yeah, look at Matt Frazier. His coach, his buddy that was helping him at all the games. In between all the workouts, he was literally giving him Snickers bars to refuel the sugar. Like, hey, you need to get this in. And he's like, a Snickers bar? He's like, dude, you need the carb, you need the sugar. You
By
need
the way,
to replenish.
don't fall for that Snickers bar
no,
thing.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Snicker bars are primarily fat.
No, I'm just saying, like, they were feeding him just sugar stuff and Snickers and different things like that just to try to get quick shit back into his system. But he was just feeding him sugar in between these workouts. That way he's ready to go for the next one.
Can I ask you guys a question? When you're doing like a, let's say total body, but you're doing heavy compound movement, deadlift, back squat, yada, yada. Are you sitting in between, like if you're really going for it, are you sitting in between each set, like eating Sour Patch Kids? Are you eating
so
like
the Look
Skittles?
Good Naked program we have right now, there's a workout on Friday called Heavy Duty. That is 100% a workout that I would eat sugar during. It's 5 rounds of 5 reps of 5 movements. So
hang on,
hold up, back up.
I used to do like a micro.
You gotta rewind because you were chopping. You said it's 5 reps, 5 movements, 5 rounds, and I think that's where we last heard you go full stream.
Heavy duty workout, and it's a high.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
It's coming back.
Intensity workout. I hate the fucking internet. I hate you. I hate you.
Tell Dylan to get off the Wi-Fi.
Oh, no, dude. Actually just paid some ludicrous amount of money to have, what's Elon Musk's new internet?
Starlink,
yeah. Starlink's coming into the house now. And if it doesn't work, I will personally shoot Elon Musk.
Oh.
Okay, so that's a kind of a high intensity session where I think and one of our new products that we're about to launch, and I've been doing this privately behind the scenes. If it goes well, we will launch it by World Championships. Here's the reality. Before every single training session, there is a coffee with honey in it, or I do pre-power and I just bash a ton of honey. I'm taking a ton of sugar in so that my body has sugars readily available to instantly go smash power output. I want to lift heavier. I want to lift more reps, and I want my body to freak out and then grow back stronger.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
And, I mean, Mike Mincer was early on about this, and whether you agree with his high intensity, multiple day breaks or whatever, but he was right about the fact that when you're lifting weights, it's a sugar. It's glycogen, glucose. It's It's carbs. You need carbs.
Yeah, we'll pick up on it. Let's get a couple more questions answered in here, and then we'll go back to our main thing.
I think somebody asked about a Garmin watch. What type of Garmin watch would you recommend?
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm furiously upset with Garmin recently, but you answer.
Oh my god,
upset?
I love my Garmin. It syncs. It syncs all your workouts, especially for like our House Academy athletes. I've had people ask me all the time. They're like, "Which Garmin should I get?" And I'm like, "Get anything." Like right now, they're on the 965 or the 265 or the newest Phoenix, Epics, or Enduro. I'm like, get one of those. You can track everything, and if your Concept 2 rower or anything has the what is it, the PM5 or whatever box, you can actually sync that to your watch. So even your row workouts will sync up to it. It will track your
That's
run.
dope. I didn't
It
even know that.
uploads. And if you're on our academy program and we do everything through Training Peaks, I make sure that the runs and everything are programmed in there. So it's literally like having Hunter and I with you. So the watch will, when you hit start, like you select your run workout, it'll say, do this workout. You hit yes, and it will track it. It will lead you through the warm up. It leads you through your zones. It auto intervals, so it will tell you, it buzzes when your interval is about to end, and it uploads back up. It is awesome. And their heart rate strap works great. So I just push Garmin. I say 965, 265, the newest Phoenix.
What would be a
Epic,
close
or
second?
Enduro.
Coros?
Coros seems to be a
fantastic.
real cool company. I haven't used one yet.
I got some friends that use them. I know a guy that works for him. I had already had my Garmin, so I'm not going to go buy another watch. But they like them a lot. Just Garmin just has the best GPS. That's just the difference. Garmin is a GPS company. They make fantastic.
I've been a diehard Garmin guy for a while, but the tech keeps on fucking breaking on me. I don't know why, but like everything in my life just seems to be breaking down, except for me.
Hey, then who gives a shit? If you're breaking the equipment and it's not breaking you, then who gives a shit? You're just call yourself the Destroyer, bro, or like some GI Joe, like Destro or some shit like that.
Dude, hand on my heart, I was running. So check out these intervals I was running yesterday. Now this is proper training that took a while to get here, but I literally ran a 5:13 mile, another 5-minute mile. I was doing 5x8s, so 4x8 minutes. First one I dropped at 5:50, next one 5:45, then I did 5:05, and then I did 5:30.
And you're not doing these on a mile repeat. You're doing these on 8 minutes.
8 minutes. It's our Ultimate Engine program. I just have changed things up because the smarter I get with doing this, I just move around pieces, and I changed it up even for other people. And dude, I'm a fucking mutant. You should have seen me yesterday. And my heart rate was at 165 beats a minute, 20 beats lower than my max, and I was just sustaining. No problem.
That's awesome. You can see on the graph too, like it just your graph. You're really fit, and this is where people always ask me, when should I try to go faster than the paces that I'm doing? When you stop seeing your heart rate continue to climb all the way through that interval. If you've been hitting that same speed and all of a sudden the RPE drops and your heart rate hits and it just levels out, that means it is now a sustainable effort and it's repeatable. So you can bump it up, but only go by 10 seconds, bump it up by 10 seconds, and then push a new threshold. And you just keep working on that. I think sometimes people just try to go way too fast, and they try to do this too many times a week. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to go faster next week. And I'm like, you need to make this a sustainable effort, then bump it up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that if you go and do a session, it's either you're going to add pace or you're going to do the same pace and it's going to cost you less. So like I want to look at myself and just say, wow, like I didn't go that fast this week, but if you look at your heart rate and it took you 170 beats per minute to do the work, now I'm at 166, 165. You have to understand those 5 beats per minute are costing your body a lot, especially the higher you go. It's just your body's just fucking hungry.
It's like getting 5 extra miles per gallon on your car. You're like, hold up. Especially with gas prices right now. Shit.
Yeah. Those 5 extra gallons are clutch.
Yeah. So we'll put this in there, and I will say, like, You guys, if you do not have a heart rate monitor, I think are making a mistake. It's hard for us to honestly program it into our open programs, but I will say you should find out your heart rate and you should treat that more seriously. And there's a lot of people that love to like say all this other random shit and metrics, but in reality, your heart rate will be a very great determinant of how exhausted you are and where your power output's at. And it will also show if you can't get your heart rate up in a workout, it will tell you your body's exhausted. So here's something that will save you guys a ton of money. If you own a Whoop, get a hammer, take it out, and smash the thing.
Smash it.
And go and
Or check the
buy
flash
a
meter.
pulse oximeter. Costs $20 online, and test your heart rate every single morning, your blood oxygen saturation every single morning, and just get a baseline. And if, like, let's just say I wake up, my heart rate is 35 beats per minute in the morning, which it often is. And all of a sudden, if I'm up 5 to plus beats per minute, extended periods of time every single day, when I wake up, I can tell my body's exhausted and I need to start to come back.
Yeah.
Now, I don't need to go charge my Whoop and be like, oh, my strain oxidative score is this and this now, so maybe I shouldn't train today. Nope. Nope, you don't need that. And then what you need to do is you need to look at your training and your heart rate when you're going out and you're like, let's say you're used to running an 8-minute mile pace with like 130 beat per minute. If all of a sudden you're out there and now it's up to 140, you need to have an easy day. You need to do that until you can get back to it. And you just need to use your brain, which should be functioning hopefully, to just get the right answer for that. You know what's interesting though?
I just had an easy week last week, not this week, but I had 3 weeks of heavy build, and then that week came up, and I was like, I'm tired. I kept it super easy. I was wiped, so I took an extra day off in the week just because I was like, I'm tired. And this week, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I want to fight the owner of Whoop. I know he's thinking about it. Thinking about fighting me. I'm thinking about fighting him.
We should bring back like the celebrity boxing matches, but it's all with fitness and tech of like people of.
Dude, we've been using
the claymation.
Oh, those are good. No, they actually used to have real fights, like celebrity boxing matches.
Dude, I'd be so. That's how Justin Trudeau started out his career. I just started using the Vitruvian tech, which is sick.
Oh, God, I want one of those so fucking bad, dude.
It's so sick.
What is a Vitruvian tech?
You know how like a lot of training is you know how a lot of training now is going from like digital more into these tech-based devices where they have like a thin platform with cables and magnets inside of it that are the pulley systems now.
Yeah, like what's the thing you have on your wall that you talk very highly of? Tonal, yeah.
So this is like another version of that tech, and I find it to be far more advanced because it has so many functions in it of tracking your power output, your rep range, all of these kind of things. You can have pump, you can have old school, you can have dynamic resistance. Literally, they can change the pattern of the resistance in so many different degrees, which makes it fascinating for somebody like me. And now with people doing things like landmine training, kettlebell swings, all this kind of stuff, you can have this box that basically has everything in it, and it's basically maybe about 3 to 4 times the size of my computer screen. And it doesn't weigh that much. I can walk around with it, plug it in wherever the heck I want.
And you can change the eccentric and concentric load.
Every aspect of it, it's insane.
For me, what I would love to have. So, like, say you're doing squats, especially as an endurance athlete, loading the eccentric, like you're going down and it's way heavier, and then you get to the bottom and it knows your range of motion because it has you do a couple sets beforehand, and then it lightens the load for on the way back up, and you can be explosive. That's you no longer need a training partner to like hold the weight down or add more negative resistance or positive resistance, anything like that.
Here, I'll show you.
I want to get one so bad.
Spell it for me, and I'll bring it up on one of our tabs.
VIT
Vitruvian.
IAN.
IAN.
So let me just show you this video.
Even if you just Google Vitruvian and you misspell it, yes.
This is George on it right now. So we've got the belts attached to him, and we're pumping the beef. Now, here's the thing. if someone asked me to go do wall balls, there's basically a humongous chunk of time where I'm not under load while doing wall balls. So why would I sit there and try to just keep on? A lot of people try to make the wall ball heavier. What I do is I just attach these belts to myself, and I figured this out a while ago, and I have constant resistance on my legs, which is allowing me to build more power output,
Yeah.
more of a challenge on the system. Because here's the reality. I want to get things done faster. I don't want to do
Yeah.
more of it. I want to get
This
things
thing?
done faster.
Yes,
Yes.
dude. I have been
I would have
watching
never
it
thought you'd be a
since
fan of
they
that. I
came
would
out
have
with
thought
this
you would have
thing,
talked into
and
that.
yeah, I've been dreaming of a machine like this for years, and now it's there, and I'm like, oh, I just want to get one so bad.
Well, here's the thing, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I spent a lot of my career talking shit on things like this, but you know what's getting so interesting? And we were making fun of Whoop before, and sorry, Whoop, we're just dicks. But if you look at it, dude, what I end up doing at the end of every single workout, the same that I always show you guys things on Strava, I'm like, oh, hey, look, I'm getting better. Hey, I'm doing this. These machines now are just getting so good that you can literally have a digital profile of yourself forever.
Yeah.
So I can just know. I'm like, wait a second. Like this year, like I always go into the gym and I get out like the bench press and I like am always kind of just trying to make sure that, hey, like a couple years ago, I moved 315 on the bar. I'm like, this year I moved 315 on the bar doing a bench press. But which year was actually the better lift? I can't tell other than the videos I had, but this right here will show you in that one lift, you were
It tells you
actually
the
moving the
speed.
yeah, you were moving the bar speed at 0.9 meters per second, and this year you were moving at 0.6 meters per second. Now,
Yeah.
for the average person, I would say that's not the most important thing. A whoop's probably more important. But for me, dude, I fucking love it. I know every single segment everywhere I've lived of how fast I've done it. And I am obsessed with knowing if I've gotten better. And half of the
Yeah.
life that I live,
100%.
especially when I retire, is going to be built around just me beating the fucking piss out of mountains that I live around. And I'll just compete with myself and other people in segments. I won't have to travel around the world anymore. And a piece of technology like this, I can go to any Vitruvian all over the world and do the same exact thing. And like I was just meeting with my friend who owns a bunch of gyms in New York, and I was telling him about this stuff, and I was like, dude, this is the future. Someone can show up at any gym, log into their app, and they can immediately continue to track their data anywhere they go in the world.
Yeah.
Now this bar that's connected, I mean, look at this, goes up to 440 pounds or 200 kg.
Oh
This
no,
bar
dude,
that's
they just
attached,
unlocked it, and now it's able to. I think it's able to sustain over 600 pounds.
sheesh. Would it be
Yeah.
difficult to do like a power clean or a snatch?
Of course, you're not going to be able to do that, but what you
Yeah.
could do is
Yeah.
what's called, like I was just working with them on it yesterday, dude. You can do clean pulls and just be able to show how much power you're driving through your hips. Yeah, it's not going to
Okay.
perform the perfect catch, but it's dope. It's dope as all
But
hell.
this is really good for like your compound lifts, like your
How do you rate
squat, your
this? How do
deadlift,
you
your
rate
bench
this
press, your bent
versus
over row.
tonal?
Oh, this I would take this.
Here's the
Yeah.
reality. I think both are amazing pieces of technology, but
Yeah.
I will say this about the tonal. The tonal is forever and always going to be bolted into a wall. And it is
Mhm.
forever and always going to be just confined to that space. This thing literally weighs, I think, probably 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And you can put it just about anywhere. You can move it, you can take it anywhere. That's dope. And I think the technology also on the inside of the app is pretty profound. Like I was
What
just
is
sitting
this
down
little
with him.
step up?
What's that?
It looks like a little step up.
That's just the bench. So you can either
That's a
do
Oh,
step
bench.
ups or you can just actually use the bench. 3K is not terrible for a full gym. Yeah. So that's the other thing I just want to talk about. Now it just seems like a total advertisement. But here's the craziest fucking thing. My gym is worth about $100,000 at this point between all of
yeah.
the machines, all of the dumbbells. At this point in my
Sandbags.
life, at this point in my life, my three pieces of equipment, honestly, would be a machine like Vitruvian. Vitruvian's the one I'm using now. A ski erg and a bike. And a concept. And now all of a sudden I've taken my 2,000 square foot gym, and I would
You
love to
put
have
it
a
into
pull
a
up bar, but
bedroom.
I could put that into the door. But I have literally a dumbbell rack that costs $4,000. I have a weight rack that's another set high, $3,000-$4,000 with the barbells and the bumper plates and shit. I have the sleds outside. I have literally every sandbag under the sun. I have every single kettlebell under the sun. And you're just like, at the end of the day, I just look at a lot of these things and I'm like, these fucking dumbbells have been collecting dust for 6 months. The kettlebells, the sandbags, like everything. I've just
Now you
minimized
wouldn't
my
be able to
entire
train
life.
like sandbag carries or let's say pull up or
Look, there. I mean, there's a time and a place for those, but what Hunter's getting at is for your day to day, and you're
yes.
not going after mass performance, like to actually
Yeah.
go and race. You just need a home gym.
Mhm.
And what he's saying is your 3 to 4 main big pieces of equipment. You have this, you have your skier, you have a rower, you have a bike. You can fit all that into an office. And then you don't need a row of dumbbells. You don't need all these different weights in a massive squat rack. You now have eliminated a lot of pieces of equipment. Not saying that they don't have their place, but if you're just somebody who wants to get good performance, you need a small footprint into your house. You don't need much, and you can spend a fraction of the amount.
Yeah.
Parker, your words carry tremendous weight, and I don't know if you know this, but in the background right now, I believe my mom is probably watching and writing down everything that is involved with this Vitruvian, and it's definitely being put on the birthday or Christmas list. And it's like, well, see, Parker said it, so I need it. Tom.
Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. I also want to be totally honest. I'm very excited about this piece of equipment, but guys, I will say that I'm a gym junkie. I'm very appreciative of every piece of equipment that I have. Also, I want you guys to know that I worked my fucking ass off to earn all of those things. Some of it's
Yeah.
been given to me, some of it I bought. I still love dumbbells. You guys notice, you guys see me in videos using dumbbells all the time. I still love kettlebells. We just did the beast board workout. Like, I love that shit.
Yep.
And all of these aspects, like, they're all still part of training. The only reason why we're mentioning this, guys, it's fucking cool to see the direction that we're going. It really is.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love looking at, like, we were just talking about carbon plated shoes, the advancements in technology in shoes. We're talking about, like, when we get into Ironmans and stuff, we're talking about the advancements of science there. We're also talking about the advancements of science of heart rate monitors and everything. Like, we're so lucky that we're not in the caveman era of fitness where the only thing that we had as an option before was like a stick or a rock. And then it got a
Yeah.
little bit better, a little bit better. Dude, Olympic
Which is a
lifting bars.
barbell and plates. It's a
Yeah. Do you remember
stick and
Olympic
round
lifting
plate, round
barbells did not
rods.
used to have bearings in them. So these
No,
guys used to have to take these steel bars that would not even rotate and find a way to catch them. And it was
Mm.
just savage. As
that's where
savage
you
as it
see
gets.
guys back in the day, like their hands when the bar would be at
They
that
do this, they
float.
do the mixed grip.
That, or they just learned how to, at the right point, slide their hands around the bar and then catch it, not the bar actually rotating.
Yeah.
They were
Um,
they had a lot of finesse.
where are we at in time wise? What time is it?
48 minutes.
Reverse lunges always, dude. Bulgarian split squats, even though they're cool, they're the risk reward ratio is too dangerous. Let's answer some of these questions that these people have been writing us. Dude, the team's been really working hard on YouTube, and I have to say I'm super fucking
Love it.
grateful. I don't know if you
I
guys
love
ever
it.
checked out our YouTubes, but it's
I watch it when I'm on the bike. I fucking love all the new shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have a lunch date with the latest YouTube episode.
I
sick,
have
dude.
a bike date with that and a couple of other YouTube channels that I love to watch. My favorite is just how Hunter, especially at the beginning of the year when he was on his no cursing, and you were just like, you little fucking bitch,
And then the
fuck you,
montage
fuck
of-
shit, I can't fuck cuss. Ah, all right, no more cussing. God damn it, fuck you, Bart. Ah, like,
I'm trying to work on it, guys. A 20-year-old athlete running a 112 in the open category. How should I periodize my training? My running and strength are both average. Well, I'll tell you right now, 6'1" and 182 pounds, you're the average size of most of the guys in the Elite 15. So you're right on spot. You probably need to still create more power because power is going to be your biggest issue, I'm assuming. What that means, you need to create more strength. So if I were you, I would look at one of our strength training programs, meaning like, the High Rock strength program that we have, and you invest 12 weeks into that. Do your absolute best to show that you've grown in strength and commit to it. And then from there, you're going to get invested in a program that is going to start develop your running. And you're going to undulate back and forth like that every 12 weeks or so. And then, like, especially getting closer to some of the bigger races, you start to incorporate something like pro, which is more hybrid. But the reality is like, if you suck at running, develop your running. Quit trying to have one ass and ride two horses and pretend to be a bodybuilder and a runner. If you guys notice, I just did the strength block for 8 weeks and I didn't feel great about it, but I built some fucking serious power. Now I'm in a running block and you guys are all going to suffer for my patience. You're going to
I
suffer
just did the
so
same thing
badly.
with some of the people that I coach. After their last race, it was about 10 weeks of just heavy lift and low effort cardio.
That's
And
what we're kind of
funny
doing
enough,
right now.
yeah, this is what. No, we're switching. We're doing some of that with you. Uh, but we just had him test at the end. All of his lifts went up an insane amount, and then we did a retest for the new phase we're going into, and he still PR'd his 5K without even being run focused, just building power and strength, and then just maintaining aerobic based cardio. Improved his 5K, but his lifts went through the roof.
That's good. Well, yeah, you generate more power.
Yeah.
I mean, you're either going to lose weight so that the power you have generates more
More power to
speed,
weight
or you're going
ratio.
to
Yeah.
generate more power. Yeah.
And I only say that to back what you're talking about.
Steve, do you know what's really cool, dude? So many people are accusing me of being on steroids now, which I take as a great compliment.
It's
This
a
is from
compliment.
Stuart
I believe
MCT. There's
George,
so many people.
your boy George that's there right now. He made a whole big post about, one of the comments that just resonated or was pointed out was accusing him of being steroids. And he's like, it's kind of like a compliment because obviously he's
This
not.
George?
Yeah.
No one's accusing this George of being on steroids. He looks like a
No,
shaved
there was
squirrel.
somebody in the comments and he's like, oh no, I'm not. Thanks for, saying how ripped I am, but obviously I'm doing everything I can to like have this pure strength and I don't even need steroids.
Yeah.
What is your average weekly running distance? I'll answer, and then you guys all answer. Okay, so I will probably right now. I did 30 miles last week. At the very peak, I will probably get to 50. The very peak, but I don't do much of that because you just need to get up there and feel it for a second. But it's dangerous. It's too dangerous.
Mystical.
What about you for Ironman training?
Right now, I'm doing about 3 to 4 runs a week, and I'm jumping between 25 to 30.
Sick, dude. What about you, Ryan?
2 or 3 times a week, it's a 10-minute warm up, and one day this week is a 30-minute run. So I'm gonna say like less than 10 miles. But we're on a huge just strength building block.
Yeah, build that fucking body.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot of cardio other ways than running. So
yeah, there's cardio in there. It's just not running shoes and going out and running a 5K.
Yeah.
I mean, last night was just a bunch of different intervals, 2,000 meter warm up with ski, and then 3 to 4 rounds of intervals of 500 meters, and then 4 round intervals of like 250 to finish.
Sick, dude. Get my dick off.
Which I hit. I don't know if it's good. I felt like I was at a max effort.
42 seconds?
40, I finished my second round finisher 46 seconds on a 250 meter ski.
Huh.
My biceps were hurting after it.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, yesterday I had a good run. It was 5 by 1K with 1K run in between, and it ended up totaling 10 miles. So
sounds lazy to me. Sounds lazy. What do you think about when you race? What stops you from getting comfortable? This is from James La Luray. You know what's funny? I have just started to I have to like transform my mind. And right now when I'm doing my running intervals, I just visualize myself in like a cloak, like a cape, completely naked underneath, wild hair with a crown on, and I'm beating a war drum real hard. Real fucking hard. And I'm just killing
Is it
these
like
intervals.
this?
I can't tell.
Beating the
I
war
can't
drum since you're naked? You're just slapping it on the drum?
100%, dude. My log is just doing
Like
damage.
those college what is it? The college band that are out there. Doom, 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 doom.
Swing it around
Yeah.
your head just like
Yeah,
that.
dude. I'm shredding the gnar, dude. I'm absolutely shredding the gnar. And what stops you from getting comfortable? Well, why would you want to be comfortable? The fuck kind of question is that? You know, I think
Maybe he's saying what's stopping you from, I guess, once you hit
Relaxing
that
and just
high
not hitting.
intensity pace, pushing yourself to get to the next high intensity pace, as opposed to this is hard, this is tough, I'm going to keep it here. Like what drives you to keep hitting that next level while you're on
That's
those
when you
runs?
lose because somebody else is going to do the work.
I mean, dude, people have done it before me. Why can't I do the same? And I want to just like shatter this feeling and this idea of who I am as a person. I want to just do everything I can to shatter the old version of myself and just keep on building something new, something crazier.
You wouldn't have broken any records continuously if you would have been like, oh, it's a fast enough record. I'm good. And you get comfortable. You would have never, you would have never gone 53. You would have never broke the doubles world record. You wouldn't be where you're at now if you would have just got comfortable.
Ooh, look, here's another guy, Wakeford Joe. He said, what gear are you currently running? If I could do steroids, I think probably, I don't even know if I would use testosterone anymore. Peptides are getting so good. I'd be running all different kinds of blood enhancers. I'd probably take like inhalers. I would probably take EPO. I would take every single thing possible. I mean, here's an interesting thing that I was reading last night. This is a thing I'll tell you guys about. You can understand
What I
Big
love
Daddy.
about this, though, Hunter, I'm going to interrupt you, is people are going to be like, that's what he's taking. That's what he's taking, because they're like, that's what he said he would take, so that's what he's taking. It's just,
Here's
to
the thing I
me,
want
when
you
people
guys to
just
know.
freak out about steroids, I just fucking laugh, because I'm just like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, listen. Think about how, like, if you really want to take performance enhancing drugs, you have to be like, go back and watch what the hell was his name? Like what was going on in the Tour de France back in the day? They had doctors coming in and administering things at all times. Do you guys see how much I travel all over the place? Where are these doctors? They're injecting me with bags of fluids and measuring every aspect of my outputs and stuff. It's insanely intense. It's insanely intense. Like the marginal gains that I'm going to get.
And not only that, I don't think people understand the cost for the drugs at high pro level performance. It's not cheap.
Dude, go look at you can see the cost and the cost breakdown of the Liver King's emails of what he was purchasing.
Oh my God.
To get the physique that he has. That guy's a fucking turtle. He doesn't even have to do anything. He just has to go up and down in videos. We're talking about like high performance training. It'd be even more expensive. You can go see the Balco guys, the Balco files. I think whatever his name, something Balco was the guy who was caught supplying every single one of the major league people, and you could see the payment receipts, and they're like $20,000 a pop minimum. It's crazy.
As someone that manages the finances and the funds and pays the credit card bills, no money is being generated towards these things that we're talking about. Now, if you wanted to talk about Amazon digital downloads, or Uber,
shut your fucking mouth. Those action movies are worth it. Those are all performance enhancing supplements.
Those are definitely on the list that I can.
I just watched the new Mission Impossible. Not to get sidetracked off of Coach's Corner, but the latest Mission Impossible on the bike last week. I love fucking Tom Cruise, dude. I think he's great as actor.
Is the shit. Tom Cruise is the shit.
He's amazing.
Nobody can say anything about him.
And the last one, dude, it's awesome. And the best part was I didn't know at the very end. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a part 2.
Spoiler alert, bro.
He'll never quit. What the hell was I just saying about Balco? Fuck.
Talking about the drugs and the receipts and how much they were paying.
Yeah, for the elite athletes.
Yeah, like I was just going to say, guys, I don't know if you remember, but last year I set the world record for like the 20th time in the sport, and they gave me $100 gift card. You guys can suck it. You think I'm going to spend those precious gift card points on steroids? Losers. You big
No, that's digital
dumbheads.
downloads, bro. That's a new movie.
Dude, look at this. T. Smith just jumped on House,
That's
dude.
5 rentals for $19.99 when they're still in theater.
Yeah, dude. By the end of that, dude, I will lose money. Dude, T. Smith, make sure you go into the Facebook page. That's where we do all the coaching and everything goes on.
Yes, please come in, and then when you sign up, I'll see it and I can let you in because I'm the gatekeeper.
You know what's interesting? This girl Ann's asking. Yeah, that's right. We got a female guest. Woo woo!
Hello,
Everybody,
Ann.
what's up, dude? Girls, we like them. Yeah. I think this steroids game thing is going
we talked about
to.
this when you were on your pee break.
It's going to kind of implode, I believe, because in reality, you have to find
They're
a
all
way to
doping
fund
anyway.
it. You have to find a way to fund it, and you have to find a way to. I don't know, man. Like, you're going to get a lot of these guys that didn't make it to the Olympics go over and try to do it doping and catch their second wind. It's kind of what's happening with a lot of don't hate me for saying this, but what's happening with a lot of male athletes switching over into the female category.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, you're probably going to see the backlash that comes from that. First, it's going to be celebrated. Everyone's going to be like, that's so beautiful. And then it's going to just collapse, at least in my mindset. And I know that bodybuilding, they use doping, and it's cool to see the big freaks and everything like that. But I think it's very acceptable in that. I think the true blue characters that are trying to be invested in the true pursuit of sport and excellence in its its most natural state will always still be the predominantly best. And you also have so many rich people that are invested in the Olympics and everything like that. They will lobby to fuck this thing in the ass until it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something I wanted to say to you guys about understanding how important it is. You can naturally enhance this kind of stuff. I was reading this last night. Having normal hemoglobin value is primarily a matter of good nutrition and consuming foods that have iron in them. This is back to my understanding of Shilajit, why I got invested in this. Typical normal hemoglobin values are between 12 and 18 grams per deciliter of blood. This is kind of too nerdy for stuff. People are awfully considered anemic when they have hemoglobins low in the 13s and women in the 12. So if your body's not able to absorb iron, which it's often not, Shilajit is one of the products I started taking, which has prevented me from getting tired or feeling just kind of groggy. You can change and enhance your 5K performance from 30 to 40 seconds when you have your hemoglobins up and enhanced. You can do that shit naturally without having to do all these doping. So if you guys want all these gains and stuff and you think I'm an absolute freak, I read books. I am doping. I actually go out of my way to do research to improve myself. And I'm not looking at my phone all the time like an idiot like you guys are, just sitting there being like, oh, yeah, he's on dope. Oh, yeah, he's on
I
dope.
can't wait to see somebody pull that right there and then use it to spin it off like all the news channels do when they go, I'm doping. They're just going to take that clip and put out like, Hunter admitted it.
Dude, I drink so much beer that would counteract any performance enhancing drug that I do. I'm naturally a freak. What do you want out of me?
The people just, the problem is that most people that are out there, oh, what do you mean? I do the same thing that they do. Why don't I look like that? I'm like, you don't do the same thing that they do.
Yeah,
There
you
are
don't do
people that are regimented like you would not believe, and they get the results because of it. There are so many people
Yeah.
out there that look like they're on steroids, especially in today's world, that they're like, oh, that dude's on steroids. And it's just, to me, most people that do that, it's just a self-reflection of their own non-confidence and lack of work, that's an easy scapegoat for them to just say, oh, he's on steroids, so they can give themselves the dismissal of putting in the work, eating proper, prepping their meals. And people are like, oh man, I want good food, I don't want a meal prep. And I'm like, dude, don't get me wrong, I love a ribeye, but I can't go out and cook a ribeye 3 times a day. I'm like, it's too expensive. So we make turkey, beef, chicken,
93.7, baby.
and just have it ready to go. So when the end of the week comes and we're like, let's go out to eat, we're like, damn, this shit tastes good because we don't do it all the time. Where'd Hunter go?
Where
Did
did
we
he
lose
go?
him or did he just leave?
He got bored.
He got bored. He was looking at his nails. He's like, I need to go clip these.
We're at 105. Normally, he's taking a pee break.
Yeah. I'm surprised I haven't. One day we'll make it back.
Nicholas Hoyer, how upset are you about what happened? And there was also, I know this is Coach's Corner, but there was also this video circulating of it was third down.
I didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
They didn't make it.
I didn't even watch it.
And it was like, well, how did they get a reset of downs?
I didn't watch it. I'm so over it. Like I could have didn't give up.
Yeah.
Didn't care. Didn't watch it. Didn't chime in. Didn't look for updates. I just didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm over this. They've turned it into a spectacle of a nightclub. I've never given two shits about the halftime show. Don't care. I just think it's hilarious. I'm like, no, I get it. They want more entertainment, this and that. I'm like, just play.
The
football.
NFL is registered along the same lines as what the WWE is registered as, Sports Entertainment Network.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. They produce entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not wrong. It's just like the Coliseum was dudes, fighting each other, but it was entertainment. So I just can't. I can't even. Amani,
beta-alanine.
About my belly.
Her beta-alanine question was, she's got Amani, correct me if I'm wrong, but your race for Houston is, I think, maybe 4 or 5 weeks away. If she were to start to implement beta-alanine right now, would it be fully infused? 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Would she get full effect if she started it today?
She's gonna feel that shit today. Amani, you take a half a scoop and you're gonna be like Tyrone Biggins from Chappelle Show, like, hey Joe Rogan, like,
you got any more of that free pre-workout giveaway?
Yeah, Joe Rogan, this ain't the first time I've. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to beta-alanine. If I have to space out my servings, so I will take a half a scoop into my pre, and then I start taking the other half a scoop in my water as I. And like some people disagree with this protocol, but I just know I'm very sensitive to it. I feel it. I start getting the warmth and not crazy itchy, but I can start feeling it even with just a half a scoop. So I play it out, in my pre and at the beginning of my sessions. And so by the time I'm done, if my sessions are super long or like where I'm on the bike, I'll go through 2 servings. But I can't just pound a serving or 2 right up front. I just, my face looks like I've been in the sun with no sunscreen. Like I get red, and I'm not sensitive to a lot of things, but that I'm sensitive to. Where'd Hunter go?
I don't know. I'm gonna try to see if I can look at some of these questions. Oh, here we go. All right, shall we share? Big fan from India. Want to improve my squat, pull up, and 10K time. Any tips?
Yeah, get yourself a 1 rep max for your squat. Reduce it to about 70% and just do a progressive overload. Go to 70% and start doing 5x5s and don't lift back-to-back days. Squat 2 to 3 times a week. Throw in some accessories. You don't have to do an insane amount of volume for that because you want to lift heavy. You want to focus on just that pure strength. And lift on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hit 70% all week, or add 5 to 10 pounds every time that you go to the next session. If you can't complete 5 sets, 5 reps at that weight, repeat it the next time. If you complete it, add 5 to 10 pounds on the next session and just keep doing that. And about every 4 to 5 weeks, do a deload cycle. So if you're, up to 80%, keep it at 80%, but do like 3 sets of 3 and do a deload week that week. And then for your running, if you're trying to focus on the strength, just get a good base aerobic cardio for running. Your legs are going to be when you start lifting really, really heavy like that, sometimes your endurance it can take a hit. Like you just feel fatigued because when you're lifting super heavy like that, it's very neuromuscular. And then after about a good 8, 10, even 12-week cycle of just focusing on that strength, then you can go back and then start focusing on speed work. But it is very, very hard to do both.
Smash or pass? Yay or nay? Lactate buffer. Lactate buffer.
Lactate buffer? Yeah, do more cardio.
Lactate buffer test, yeah. Let's see. Average weekly distance. We got into
you're talking about a test, like a VO2 max VLA test?
The question was just lactate buffer, smash or pass.
Smash. Because this is why you do need cardio. So good aerobic cardio. This is why it's great for high rocks athletes because you got a lot of strength, but having a really good cardiovascular system can help buffer lactic acid.
Let's see, from TMRSS, what would it take for you to go vegan? There are vegan bodybuilders.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Everybody do what you want. I like ribeye.
Thumbs up. Do it to it.
Train. I don't care. I have friends. I've got one of my good friends. He's an old friend of mine. He's 100% plant-based. And if we hang out, I just go eat with him. I don't care. So if he wants to come eat with me, we just go where he wants to eat. Other than that, I'm beef. I'm getting grass-fed.
I don't quite know what this are. Super shoes allowed in high rocks?
Yeah, that's a carbon plate shoe.
As long as you aren't wearing rollerblades, I believe you can wear pretty much any type of shoes that you want.
Yeah. There's no. I've never heard of high rocks saying that there's no shoe ban or whatever. And the beauty is most of the shoe companies that are out there, especially all the big name brands, when they create a shoe, they try to keep it within it has limitations. Like you've seen, like they've tried to push it, and then the governing bodies are like, oh, well, okay, you can't go above this stack height with the carbon plate because it adds an unfair advantage. So they put the limitations on there. So now they're building the shoes within those limitations. So you're fine either way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Amani, I would imagine Heelys are banned.
That would be dope, though.
That would be funny. Better to lose weight
she's just asking. So when we get to the running, I bet you she's asking that. So she's just gonna Heely and then grab the back of my shirt. So when we do the double, she can just coast behind me. Tell me if I'm wrong, Amani. I know where your mind is at. Yeah.
Better to lose weight and then train for high rocks, or train for high rocks and lose weight along the way?
Well, see, I don't know the person. I don't know what their body fat percentage is. I don't know what their current health is. If you want to train for a high rocks, just start training for a high rocks. Have a goal. And if the idea that keeps you disciplined and happy and motivating, keeps a smile on your face, is that race that you bought an entry to in 4 or 5 months, then just go ahead and start training. I think people get sometimes too caught up with a lot of those things. Now, if your doctor was like, no, you need to start here, you need to start easy, you have these complications, then yeah, let's work through that first. I would say you should work through that first, then get yourself to a point where your doctor clears you. But if not, if you're good to go,
I got a question.
Buy a high rocks race and go crush it and enjoy your life.
What about the people that say, I want to target my obliques. What is an oblique workout? I want to target just I need to lose leg fat. I guess targeting certain body points and saying, when you're going on Google,
when you
I
go
want
to
to
the
lose.
grocery store,
It's what you're swiping at the grocery store is those targeted exercises that you need.
And consistency in the gym. It's all going to come from, your diet and consistency in training. People think that abs are made by doing,
I have to do cable
1,000 reps of
crunches.
abs. You're just making your abs stronger. Now, you can do exercises that can help, make your abs bigger and your like just like any other muscle, but in order to get all of your muscles to show, you have to lean out overall. Like your body loses fat as you. I like. What's the best? What's
from
some
head to
simple way?
toe, not
Yeah, you're not going to be like,
you
I
aren't
want
gonna
to
say,
focus
okay,
on
I'm
just my
gonna lose
arm.
I want to lose
Yeah. You
stomach
have to
fat
lose body.
only.
Your body's fat percentage is your body fat percentage,
For
obviously,
total
and
body,
you have to
not
lose it
gut.
overall, and that comes from
Yeah.
diet.
Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe during the sandbag lunges. I think it's because of the way the bag's hanging on my shoulders. Hunter has a video about this and a technique. And I believe it's slung over your back, elbows are tight, and then I think he's only clamping into the there's a couple different handles.
So if you're closing off here, you're going to close off your chest and try to breathe here. And then try to breathe here. There's a huge difference in you constricting your chest and rounding out.
Yeah, you can have
versus having
your arms
opened
flipped.
up. You can, So focus on your range of motion to help get. You might just have I'm just assuming you might just have a limited range of motion for some, like external rotation. So when you're here, if you can only hold here while you're holding the sandbag, you're going to close yourself off. Hunter does have some really good vids on executing different stations, but just get your chest open.
New power training hindered or didn't? Let's see. Are you natural? I can answer for him. Yes.
Oh, Hunter said his internet just crapped out.
Yeah. How would you split
Imani
your
did
training?
confirm that's why she wants Heelys.
How would you split your training for first high rocks 8 weeks out when people before I did? I think what this Leo Leon Demi, how would you split your first training for high rocks and it only being 8 weeks out? Like this happened to me. I was I didn't know what to do. I knew that I was weightlifting, but I wanted like another challenge because I had lost the weight. I'd gained some definition, but I was like going to the gym. I was like, okay, I've hit my weight loss goal and hit my strength goal. Like, what's next?
What are you
and then
weak at?
I found this.
Right.
I found this high rocks race, and I was like, oh, it's very close to the race day, but I haven't really specifically trained for high rocks. So now it's 8 weeks out. What are
the first question would be,
in?
Are you doing high rock specific training now?
No.
If you're not, then
I just found it. It's 8 weeks out and I just signed up for it. I had the money, laid down the cash. I'm not doing any type of training. I'm in pretty decent shape.
Then I would just jump into a house program and then just follow it. If you come into the Facebook group and if you're going to do High Rocks Pro, go backwards and start and basically jump back to the start of the Ultimate Engine and scale it, or you can go get the
one of the training guides.
The training guide for the beginner, the intro to High Rocks, and then just you're not gonna gain. Like, don't focus on trying to set some crazy time. You're 8 weeks. If you have no base, just do some specific High Rocks training. Come jump on High Rocks Pro. You can scale it to your ability. Your consistency is going to be your best workout partner. I say this to everybody. Whether you have a training partner or not, consistency is your best friend. and then just go to the race and go there for the experience. Absolutely enjoy it. Get an understanding. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to get into the atmosphere. And don't go there to absolutely destroy yourself if you don't know what to expect, especially since you haven't had months and months of training. Just go there and have a lot of fun, but just get something under your belt, like for High Rocks Pro on housetraining.com, and just follow it, but just scale it as you see fit.
Yeah. And when you go in there, we've done a good job of letting you know where the cycle starts. So on the Monday of every week,
that's what I was
there's
talking about.
generally a paragraph that says, welcome to week 4. This is a deload week. And if you like to go
deload week, sorry, Ryan, let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
Use the deload week as your race week leading into the race. That way you're not just destroying yourself right up until Friday, and then, weekend comes and you're like, oh man, I'm wrecked.
I can't get these legs moving. And then it will at the end of that paragraph, it'll say, if you want to start Ultimate Engine day 1, go to whatever the start date was, and then you'll find it that way. Thoughts on wearing gloves while working out? Do it. It won't hurt.
There's a lot of jokes. I used to crack those jokes all the time, to people. I'm like, it's like about wearing gloves, but Ronnie Coleman wore gloves. A lot of High Rocks athletes during the race, they wear gloves. If you feel like you want to wear gloves because it gives you a sense of security, they have wrist wraps, whatever you need. You do what you got to do to make yourself have that confidence. And if wearing gloves is something that is, I call it the blanket that Linus used to carry around in Charlie Brown. If you need
that's your security.
If that's what you need, then use it.
These were the questions that we had.
What is your 5K road flat PB? Oh, okay. Recently, I just did one. I'm not nearly as fast as I used to be. I just did it was a 5:59 mile average for a 5K. My best is it's around a 5:9, 5:10 5K.
Wow. 5:09. What? Oh, 5:09 pace?
Yeah, 5:09, 5:10.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was
a lot younger. I was a little lighter, and I was a absolute running machine.
And speaking to what we were talking about of, hey, just show up, have some fun, go to the rock zone, pick up some swag. And I guess the other note that I would say is now there's so many videos online of like movement standards to help you. There wasn't that. I mean, my first race was at the beginning of 2020 or end of 2019. And there weren't any videos online. So I just remember going through, and for the burpee broad jump, I would try to jump as far as I can, but then I would jump up. Like I was trying to jump up and touch a basketball hoop. And so now there's, to my point, I would just go online and look at movement standards to kind of help you. You'll see people
a sub-maximal broad jump. Like you see a lot of people really try to jump as far as they possibly can because they think, well, if I jump farther,
I get it done quicker. But
I won't have to do as many burpees. But you also destroy your legs a lot more because you're having to, when you land from a jump, you're having to decelerate. It is really a eccentric load. That's why you see Hunter when he does a burpee broad jump, or I mean, he gets a good distance, but he just lands and just drops right down into the burpee.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people jump and they just
and then like hold yourself down, just
stop. And that every time you do that, that's like doing a depth jump where you drop from a box. And so just try to find a nice little rhythm when you're doing it. When you land, just try to drop down. Now, don't jump if you need to break. When you come up, take your breather.
Yeah, put your hands on your knees.
Then do your broad jump because you want to land and cradle down right into the next burpee instead of jumping and then just sticking the landing. If that makes sense.
pretty much all we have.
Let's see it.
Until next
Let's see it.
time.
I'm loving it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Let's see if anybody messages me any.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Go Brewing.
Oh, the IPA is so
They
good.
just Joe, I believe it was Joe. I don't know. I've never seen his face, but he just did a video about how he was comparing, or how he was saying, you know, we're doing very well as a company, and they are growing. And he did give a shout out to Athletic Brewing as they paved the way. And just for reference, it was like their first year. I think he said they did like 800 barrels, and then, you know, Go Brewing, I think 2 or 3 times that. And he wasn't like standing on top of a mountain saying we're so much better than Athletic Brewing, but he was just saying thank you for paving the way. And look at how much like people are there's a want for it, there's a need for it, for moderation, and people that wanting the taste as opposed to let's get hammered and want the taste. You get kind of the best of both worlds. You don't smash the calories of 300 calories per beer. You're getting your taste.
And that's big for me because I love IPA. I love the taste of IPA. And
exactly.
I don't get paid to say this. I don't get, you know, anything from Go Brewing. I put an order in with their
promo code
IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, they're so good. I mean, they are literally the best tasting non-alcoholic IPA beer that I have tried.
Scooty Scoo.
That's good.
All right. That's all we have, folks. We will check you later. We might be going on Thursday or Friday for a sheriff roundup like we normally do. We'll have to talk to the big man, and hopefully his internet will come back.
Yep. And for all of you looking to get into high rocks, you know, hit up housetraining.com. Like, it's a great place to start. You can scale it, get into the Facebook group, ask questions. Everybody's super helpful. It's just starting. Just show up, give yourself a little grace, and don't try to just make up for 6 months of lost time in fitness. Just steady course.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you folks later. Bye.